now find themselves in a situation where they don't have a job, they render themselves unemployed. However, they're still required as the ruling class to provide government. But their roles change. They become administrators, they become magistrates, they become accountants, lawyers, teachers. They also find themselves in the showman's court, and they're sitting next to merchants, they're sitting next to bureaucrats, and they're finding themselves not really knowing what to do. They're built for war, that's their job. Their job is killing. And now they find themselves in court trying to negotiate different aspects of the creation of the society and the infrastructure around this. They don't know what to do, so they find they have to start becoming more educated in civilian ways. This is where they start having existential doubt. Who are we? What do we do? What are we doing here now? So they need to answer these questions. And there are two key figures during the 1600s and the early 1700s who start to suggest answers to these questions. The first man is a guy called Yamago Soko, who was understood to be a Confucian philosopher. There's debate about whether he himself was a samurai or not, but he certainly had a very clear view of what the samurai should be doing and who they should be. Just to read this, Soko introduced Confucianism to the samurai and proposed that from within Confucianism, the Confucian concept of the superior man should become the bedrock of what samurai should be. Now, what does this mean? Confucianism had a superior man. There were 7 virtues of being human that Confucianism proposed. Soko, Yamago Soko, suggested that this should be the basis of a Shido as opposed to a Bushido. The character Shi essentially means gentleman, and Do in English means way. So he was proposing a way of the gentleman's way, as opposed to a Bushido. However, he was directing it at the samurai class, so it naturally became understood and wasn't actually required. After Yamago Soko, we have a chap called Daidoji Yuzan, who started writing a book called the Budo Shoshinshu in the early 1700s. His work was creating a set of ethics for young samurai who were in training. Now, I say this loosely because you're born into a samurai family, so your family raise you to know what it is to be of that class. However, this is more like a preparedness and a finishing school for the ethic and the etiquette of how to conduct oneself in society. So Daidoji Yuzan was the teacher of, this is disputed, but it's understood that he was the teacher of the leader of the 47 Ronin, if you've heard of the story of the 47 Ronin. So it's quite interesting how these things tie in together. I think what would be useful would be to actually discuss what the 7 virtues of Bushido are. If we start with, I'll give you the Japanese words and also the English words, and some of these words I'll provide my own personal interpretation for, and others I will just leave as is for you to decide for yourselves what they mean and how that works for you. Within the code of Bushido, the first of the virtues is called Gi, which means integrity. The second, Rei, is respect. Rei is not just respect, it is also etiquette is the easiest way to describe it. We'll go into this in a little bit later. Then we have yu, which is courage. Mei, honor. Jin, compassion. Makoto, sincerity, honesty. Chu is duty and loyalty. So these were the bedrock virtues that formed the code, the creed that the warrior class lived by. Did they all live by it? No. Was this an ideal? Yes, it was. Did everybody agree with it? No, not really. But as it stands, these virtues are certainly incredibly good human characteristics to work to develop. And I would say that by and large, the samurai class, from what I've read, did encapsulate the majority of these virtues in the way they conducted themselves. I need to go back to Yamago Soko for a moment, because Yamago Soko had a deep belief that the samurai, being the ruling class, had a moral duty to stand as exemplars of what it meant to be a good human being in society. This is not about war anymore. This is not about killing. This is simply about how to be good people, how to govern righteously. And it was something that a lot of the samurai took to heart. And in order to do this, the samurai felt that it was very important to add to their set of life skills keen ability and appreciation for the arts. There is an old belief within the samurai culture that the pen and the sword should be in accord. It's a nice rhyme. But what it means is that they understood that the value between literacy and the arts, and also the martial way, have to be in balance. One cannot govern without education. One cannot judge effectively without education. One cannot appreciate life without having a deep appreciation for art. And through the arts, Zen was brought back in to their way of life. And in so doing, there's a wonderful term in Japanese, an old Japanese, which is called uruwashi. Uruwashi is a state of balance. I'm going to give you the exact translation here. It's a situation of balance and harmony between the exterior pattern of beauty and the interior essence and substance of a thing or of oneself. So what this means is that the samurai specifically used the arts, both the martial arts and such arts as calligraphy, flower arranging, tea ceremony, as a way to perfect the form of what they're doing, while at the same time being able to do it with full presence of mind, with full spirit. And in so doing, there was this balance, this perfect balance of the art itself and the spirit that's doing the art. So the 1600s, the Edo period, was incredibly important to both Japanese culture and to the samurai, because it was a time of peace that enabled them to perfect both their martial arts and also the arts themselves. And out of this, the Bushido code was born. I think we'll stop it there. It seems like a natural conclusion. Yes. Okay. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them. So please feel free.
Yeah,